This is Euronews Now. I'm Helena Humphrey. Here are your top stories. Ukraine's President Zelensky vows to protect UN inspectors trying to reach the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The EU energy crisis deepens as Russia shuts off the Nord Stream 1 gas pipeline, citing maintenance. And tributes pour in for Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the Soviet Union, who's died at the age of 91.
Ready for the long road ahead. Monitors from the International Atomic Energy Agency left Kyiv bound for the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. It's a dangerous mission, as both sides have accused each other of attacking the site and endangering its safety.
We have a very, very important task there to perform, to assess the real situation there, to help stabilize the situation in as much as we can. And I am really very conscious of the relevance of this moment. But we are ready. The IEA is ready.
We give them a list of the main very important points there, which they should check. And that is from technical point of view. And another is the understanding where the Russian military is on this day. We have information that they are now trying to hide this military presence, and so they should check all of this.
Russia has also welcomed the mission.
The IAEA delegation that is planning to come has security guarantees from the Allied forces and the Russian Federation. All necessary steps will be taken to ensure this security. But I would like to emphasize that right now the Ukrainian regime is insane and nothing can be ruled out.
Zaporizhzhia is Europe's largest nuclear power plant. Ensuring its safety is not just important for Ukraine, but also neighbouring countries, and, ultimately, the future of nuclear power everywhere.
Ukraine continues its offensive against Russia's forces across southern Ukraine, pushing the front line back some distance in places, according to British intelligence. Ukrainian forces began striking Russian pontoon ferries across the Dnieper River from the 29th of August. Specifically, Ukrainian and Russian sources reported that Ukrainian forces struck a pontoon crossing constructed out of barges near the Antonivsky Road bridge. Russian forces are continuing to transfer large convoys of military equipment from Crimea and also from Melitopol. The Institute for the Study of War says the Ukrainian counteroffensive is a cohesive process that will require some time to correctly execute. The Kremlin will likely exploit the lack of immediate victory over Kherson city or Ukrainian operational silence on the progress of the counteroffensive to misrepresent Ukrainian efforts as failing and to undermine public confidence. The think tank gives an update on Russian mobilization, saying the deployment of some volunteer battalions within 1 week of their formation supports the assessment that they are severely understrengthened and poorly trained. The statement echoed by British intelligence. Russia continues to expedite attempts to generate new reinforcements for Ukraine. The operational effectiveness of these units is not known. They are highly likely short of personnel and have had limited training.
The European Union is stepping up initiatives to limit its dependence on Russian gas. 7 Baltic Sea nations have announced their commitment to a 7-fold increase in wind power production to 20 gigawatts by 2030, enough to supply electricity to 20 million households.
Putin's attempt to blackmail us with fossil fuels is failing. We are accelerating the green transition. We are getting rid of the dependency of Russian fossil fuels. And we're accelerating the renewable, clean, cheaper and homegrown renewable energy.
Brussels is also working to reform the electricity market to stop the cost of natural gas determining electricity prices. Other European nations are also pushing for new energy solutions, including Spain, where Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez wants to create a gas pipeline linking the Iberian Peninsula to Central Europe, an idea which has been received positively by Germany.
I want to again underline that I very much support creating such a connection. It's about improving the interconnections of the European gas network today and in the long term. It is also about using hydrogen together.
Brussels is calling on member states to cut energy usage by 15%, as over the last several months, Russia's state energy giant Gazprom has cut off or reduced its supplies to a dozen EU countries. Most recently France, where an energy sobriety plan is being set up.
We must consume less energy at home, in transport, in shops, in businesses. It is a collective commitment to reduce energy consumption that must be made.
Energy prices across Europe have soared due to the war in Ukraine, with gas costing almost 12 times more now than the start of 2021. Discussions are ongoing within the EU to find a European approach to energy pricing mechanisms.
A one-of-a-kind statesman who changed the course of history. Tributes to the last leader of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, have been pouring in from around the world. A controversial leader at home who presided over the breakup of the Soviet Union, Gorbachev was widely hailed abroad for ushering an end to the Cold War. In a statement, Russian President Vladimir Putin praised his efforts to lead the country during a period of complex, dramatic changes. Yet Putin and Gorbachev had a frosty relationship in recent years, and the Kremlin added that he was wrong about having closer ties with the West. Meanwhile, Western leaders expressed their grief, gripped by a symbol who represented better relations with Russia.
Mikhail Gorbachev sent a wind of freedom into Russian society. He tried to change the communist system from inside, which became impossible. And he started an era of cooperation with the West, stopping the Cold War. And happily, the hopes has vanished.
And it's this hope, this sense of what could have been, which led German Chancellor Olaf Scholz to lament Gorbachev's death.
We know that he died at a time when not only democracy has failed in Russia, there is no other way to describe the current situation there. But also Russia and Russian President Putin are drawing new trenches in Europe and have started a horrible war against a neighbouring country, Ukraine.
Ultimately, ending the Cold War will be his defining international legacy. The White House has credited Gorbachev with creating a safer world and greater freedom for millions. China has expressed its condolences to his family, noting how he helped to improve relations between Moscow and Beijing.
Wednesday marks 25 years since Princess Diana was killed in a car crash in Paris. Her death thrust not only the British royal family but the world into shock and mourning. The then 36-year-old was known for her advocacy for AIDS patients and landmine removal in developing countries. The crash raised scrutiny over the tabloid press coverage of her, as well as conspiracy theories around the circumstances of her death. Russia's state-owned energy firm has stopped the flow of natural gas through a major pipeline from Russia to Europe. Gazprom has announced 3-day maintenance on the Nord Stream 1, amid concerns of a potential energy crisis on the continent this winter. Germany, where Russia accounts for about a third of its gas supplies, has accused Moscow of weaponizing energy.
You're watching Euronews now. Stay with us. We're back after a very short break.